Good morning, everyone. I'm Russell Johnston, the Acting Commissioner at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and it is truly an honor and a privilege to be in Holyoke today as we continue to share the great news about the work that this school district has done, its mayor, the receiver superintendent, the school committee, really focusing on the types of improvements that matter for students now and in the future. We have great confidence in the work that the school committee itself has done to really improve and really take on the improvement process around governance for the district. And it was really a pleasure when I became acting commissioner to begin to work with them and join them in their journey, because it was a journey they started themselves towards improving their governance model. And then when I took over as acting commissioner, I've been able to work with the school committee to develop a very solid transition plan that will carry them through this period of moving from provisional release of receivership to full release at the end of June for July 1. And so it's been a great pleasure to work with the school committee, but an even greater pleasure to see the changes that are happening at the classroom level here in Holyoke after 10 years of receivership. I had the pleasure today of walking through the high school and Kelly School with Mr. Soto, and the changes are remarkable, and they are making a difference for the lives of children now. There is more work to be done. We know that, and we know that the people who are leading this work behind me are the ones who will continue the district into the future. We will keep some aspects of the improvement process in place through the authorities that I have as commissioner post-receivership, but I have great confidence that the improvement will continue without this state lever in place because of the amazing leadership of this district. So thank you very much. Really glad to turn it over now to Mayor Garcia.
Mi nombre es Joshua García, soy el alcalde de la ciudad de Holyoke y me siento muy orgulloso para estar aquí hoy en este momento, la historia de Holyoke y la historia de Massachusetts. My name is Joshua Garcia, I'm the mayor of the city of Holyoke, and I stand here today in front of you with so much pride to be here in our moment in history here in the city, as well as the history here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I do want to offer my thanks to Acting Commissioner Russell Johnston, Board of Education Chair Catherine Craven, and all her colleagues on the board, Secretary Patrick Tutwiler and Governor Healy and her administration for demonstrating their trust and their confidence in the Holyoke School Committee and our entire community, and for being patient with my city the last 10 years, because as a community, we had a lot of soul searching to do. We had a lot of reconciliation across our district to understand the challenges that are impacting our youth, to understand how we make decisions as a government for our youth and the impact that those decisions or no decisions has on our kids' ability to learn and progress within our school district. And we've came a long way. I do want to thank my colleagues on the school board, led by our chairwoman, Mildred Lefebvre, who couldn't be here with us today, but she's watching. She's at a conference currently, and is let me tell you, she's filled with joy for their unwavering belief that all Holyoke students can succeed at the highest levels, for being voice of our families and students, and for their commitment to building our collective capacity of self-governance. Some of the school committee members that are here with me currently, we have, and when I call your name, you could just come up for a moment. Dr. Yarilet Revere Cologne, who's here with us. Jay Wellahan. Rosalie Tinsley Williams. Rosalie, you can bring your chair if you want. Ellie Wilson. Gladys Lebron Martinez. Give this school committee here a round of applause, please, folks. And what makes me so continuing to fill with joy up here, if you can just look at the diverse faces that you see in our school board. We haven't achieved this in such a very long time, and I appreciate the work that you do, the time that you put in, and I am, again, filled with joy to be able to work with you as colleagues on the school board. I also want to give a shout out and thank you to our Holyoke City Council for their collaboration and their spirit and support of our district needs the last 10 years. We do have our council president chairwoman, Tessa Murphy-Romboletti, who's with us. And then I also want to give a shout out and thank you to our state delegation here with us, Patricia Duffy of the 5th Hampden District. Thank you to our receiver, Superintendent Anthony Soto, my fellow Holyoke Public Schools alum who stepped into the role of superintendent at a critical juncture during our world history, the pandemic, and has provided steadfast and collaborative leadership throughout his tenure. And most importantly, he consistently centers his decision and our discussion on those who matter the most, which is our children. So thank you so much, Anthony, for your leadership. Here's the community. Here's my team here doing the important work along with, well, I'll get into that in a moment. I do also want to give a quick shout out and thank you to former HTA Union President Pete McAndrews, who was around when we went into receivership, who served very strongly during receivership, and has been a critical part in helping us facilitate discussions with the Commonwealth in these transitions. And so certainly want to give him a good shout out in the work that he's done for the district. And district teachers and staff and employees, if you're out there with us right now, come over here for a moment. We want to give a shout out and thank you to the whole entire district and staff, those past and present, currently continuing to, they're the ones in the trenches, putting in the hard work, and again, for their patience through this process. And for those that are still with us, thank you for sticking with us and continuing to stick with us as we continue to navigate the needs of our community and do what's important for our youth. This location, Morgan School, Principal Sasha Garcia, we chose to have this press conference here specifically because this was the first school that went into receivership before the whole entire district went into receivership due to chronic underperformance. And on July 1st, Morgan School, along with 9 other schools, will transition back to local leadership. The school committee will continue to develop our skills and fulfill the expectations detailed in what we're calling our capacity building plan. We're rolling up our sleeves and we're doing the important work. So, Commissioner, I'm happy to tell you that in partnership, not in receivership.
Right. That's right.
And I know you gave us a provisional decision, so there's still an opportunity for him to pull back, and I know he will. I know he will if we don't keep our act together, community, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're on the right path.
I'm happy to tell you that together we will be ready for July 1 because juntos podemos.
Thank you. Man, tough act to follow. I always hate following the mayor, but here we go. First and foremost, proud Puerto Rican kid from Holyoke. I was born and raised in Holyoke. I went through the Holyoke public school system and graduated, and I'm just, this is real personal to me. Holyoke made me the man that I am today, the husband that I am today, made me the father that I am today, and the professional that I am today. And I'm so appreciative of what Holyoke Public Schools has given to me, and I'm so appreciative of the state and all. You know, they came in 9 years ago and really invested a lot of resources. They invested a lot of support with Russell and Lauren and the entire team to come and just bring best practices, to strengthen our instructional model, to make sure that the focus is on kids, and to make sure that the systems that we needed to be in place to be in a position that we're in today and that we will be in on July 1st, that those things happen. And really proud of all the work that we've accomplished over the last 9 years. And like I said, it's real personal to me, and I'm grateful for all of that. I'm also grateful for the mayor and his leadership getting us to this point, to the school committee, even throughout the entire receivership. the school committee never went away. They never said, oh, we don't have any power. We don't need to do this. Like, they've always been there meeting with us every single month, making sure that they were elevating issues that were important to this community and that were important to them. And I just want to thank them for that continuing to stick with us and be in the position that you are today to resume local control. And I speak for all of us when I say that this announcement really reflects the hard work of all of our students out there, all of our teachers out there, all of our building leaders out there that, like the mayor said, stuck around, stuck here. Because of all of that hard work, we're in the position that we are today. We weren't the first district to go into receivership, but we're definitely the first one that's going to get out of receivership. And, you know, I named briefly like some accomplishments that we have, and we will be sharing a presentation in November. The DESI's board will be coming out here, so we will kind of tell the story of receivership and where we're at and what the capacity building plan is going to look like. But briefly, I just want to name, you know, one of the things that we did was increase our graduation rate by 14%, and even more so for some of our most vulnerable students. We're standing on a place right now where this wouldn't have been possible without the investments that we've made to our infrastructure. Every single building we've invested in. We're building a brand new school. We've invested over $100 million into our schools during receivership. We have an instructional model. We just walked through schools, and Russell was telling me, pulled me aside, and he just tells me how different it feels, the work that's in front of kids, the support that they're getting from coaches, the work that the teachers are doing. All of that came with this investment that receivership has brought into Holyoke, and I'm so grateful. So much more to be proud of. You know, we went from, we almost tripled the number of teachers of color that we have in Holyoke, and we've increased access to pre-K, we've increased access to early college and other dual language programming, which is such a great program for our community. So much more to be proud of, but I know that there's still a lot of work ahead. And one commitment that I'm making to this community and to the school committee and to our students is that I want to make sure we deliver on that capacity building plan. I want to partner with the school committee. I want to partner with the state and continue to move in that direction so that July 1, there's no question we will be reverting back to local control because we are doing everything that we need to do. And I'm excited to roll up my sleeves with my colleagues here and get it done.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah, absolutely. Any questions? Please.
This question is for the school superintendent, Anthony Soto. Are you certified to become a candidate? Is it because to be a superintendent so you could be a candidate?
I'm a licensed, yes, I'm licensed right now.
You're licensed to be a superintendent?
Yes.
Are you going to become a candidate?
It's not my decision. We got a lot of work to do between now and July 1, and we're putting it together a community advisory board to work with the school committee to decide what direction they want to go in and what that's going to look like for this community. And I'm fully committed to working with them and making sure that they have a strong plan in place.
What state supports are going to be in place to ensure the district will be?
I think the important thing is the supports that we've already put in place are there to just grow and build on. So we've invested financial support over the years. I think I'm really pleased that there's less reliance on the district for that financial support so that the improvement process can continue without the financial investment from the state. However, the technical assistance and the ability to be here, walk through schools, learn about the progress that's happening, and then also give some feedback and support along the way is vitally important as we work through this. And then this evening, I'll be meeting with the school committee, the local control subcommittee, and we'll be, capacity. There we go.
Capacity building.
Capacity building. The capacity building subcommittee to really just continue to monitor progress towards the benchmarks that they've created for themselves and that they've voted on and they've taken upon for their development. That's just really something that the state will just continue to provide support to make sure that the milestones are met and to make sure that we lead to that final day at the end of June when we can pass off the district fully to the district's leadership itself. Looking forward.
Okay, Mr. Superintendent,
Don't hate on me. I read and you stated a few of the accomplishments, the increased rate of graduation. In terms of basic skills, though, reading and writing still is a challenge. What is the district doing to help students when they graduate, and they wherever else they go, they're ready to start taking more work?
Yeah, we're fully implementing the strategic plan that we have in place, and one of our one of the things that we leaned into a few years ago was developing our principals to become instructional leaders. You know, I'll say this, and I've said it publicly before, I'll say it again. Being a principal is probably the hardest job that in Holyoke Public Schools. And oftentimes, you know, you're pulled in a million different directions. You're putting out fires. You're dealing with discipline. You're dealing with external factors, and it's easy to lose sight of what's happening in the classrooms and what are our kids producing. And the principals that we have now are equipped with the tools that they need, the resources they need, the staff that they need. A big shift for us this year is really looking at student work. Over the last couple of years, we were looking at what strategies we want to implement, what teachers need to be doing to improve their practice. And a big shift this year is like looking at student work and making sure that, yes, we see all these strategies in place. We see best practice being implemented by the teachers, but we need to start looking at the student work and what they're producing and let that inform our professional development and let that inform the next steps that we've taken. We got all new curriculum across the district that's standards aligned, that's high quality, and we're providing coaching. So there's a lot involved, a lot that we've been building on over the last 3 years, and we know what direction we need to head. We got the right leaders in place to make that happen, and that's going to have a huge impact for sure.
Olivia.
So what impact will teachers firsthand in the classroom? And some teachers and athletes that they felt like they didn't have to say how their classrooms run and how things work when you guys understood control? And what impact will this have on
the real change here is, who has the authority to monitor the budget, who has the authority to select the superintendent, who has the authority to set policy in the district. And these leaders that are up here are the ones that are going to be responsible for those key levers that I just mentioned. I think that initially, I hope that all the work that we've built on in terms of building that instructional model, having high quality curriculum, and having staffing in place to support improving the quality of teaching and looking at what our students are doing and adjusting to that. I hope that not much of that changes. Honestly, that's my, I hope that we continue to build off of that momentum and really just take it to the next level. I think there's a lot of work that has to happen, from a governance standpoint, and there's a lot of adjusting that will happen there. And depending on, what policies the school committee decides to set in the future, I don't expect to see a ton of change in the actual classroom because there's so much work that has to happen for this transition to be successful outside of the classroom.
If I could just build on that quickly too, though, from the state level, I just see the extent to which Mr. Soto is listening to the teachers in the district and constantly presenting to us, here are things that he and his team are looking to change and improve. Yeah. And a strong signal of that is the change to the schedule for this year. Yeah. And that teachers have common planning time, and that early release every Wednesday is built on the feedback from teachers, is built on what we know about improving practice in the classroom for children and giving teachers more of that time to plan and grow together. So I just see the constant ways in which, as a leader, Mr. Soto is always listening to the educators and making adjustments, and I know that will continue into the future as well.
Thank you.
Yay! Next one to you.
Commissioner, you came on board just a few weeks after the previous commissioner said these schools were going to remain in receivership. What did you see that the previous commissioner did not see that led you to make the decision, okay, let's start working?
bringing back in?
Sure. So the previous commissioner had said he wasn't going to exit the district through the process that was requested last winter. And he said there needed to be different follow-up instead. And so I was pleased. Commissioner Riley and I were very close, and as he departed, I picked up that process of saying, what is that other way? How else can we work together? What is a better process for exiting the district? And truly one of the first phone calls, I think it was the first phone call that I made as acting commissioner, was to Mayor Garcia to say, let's begin that process in earnest. I'm ready to step into that. Mayor Garcia, of course, always was ready, and I was just really pleased to join him in that process and to join this school committee. And we got started right away, and it led us to where we are right now, and I'm just really pleased with the work of everyone involved to get us to this point.
And just to add further clarification on that too, this wasn't former commissioner. It wasn't at all that he wasn't interested in starting a process, or he felt strongly that there has been some improvements. The challenge, really, the frustration was this district for a very long time not feeling like a partner in the process. It didn't feel there was no two-way communication. No district has ever came out of receivership, so there was no blueprint or process. And in that letter, it was vaguely written, and we wanted a little more concrete steps. And what I appreciate with Commissioner Johnston when he stepped in was, it's being honest, right? Like, we don't have a blueprint. I don't know what it is. You guys don't know what it is, but you know what? We're going to figure it out together. And that's all we wanted. And on top of that, there were commitments to 7 meetings, and he committed to go to each one. I think the last one is today, right? Or one of the ones is today, tonight.
Those ended. These are now updates on what we read.
And, that right there for us was what we were looking for, a partnership in the process to work together to understand how we navigate the unknown so that we're on a path, some sort of path to progress. And Commissioner Johnston, did exactly that, and we appreciate. And again, shout out to Governor Healy, who has been very focused and attentive to our district desires and agreed to that and made sure it happened. Sure.
Other districts in receivership learn from them when working towards
We are working very closely with the other two districts to also formulate a plan for their own capacity building to, again, find that roadmap towards exiting from receivership. And so there are individualized ways of which we're going about this in the other two districts, but there is certainly a lot to learn from and build on based on our experiences with the great team here in Holyoke as well. Jackie, how much more time do we have?
Does anybody want to know about the capacity building plan? Oh, you were going to ask that? Well, it is my honor to introduce to you the chairwoman of the capacity building for local control subcommittee of the school board, Dr. Yadilet Rivera Colon.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Yadilet Rivera Colon, not to be pretentious, but because not many doctors look like me. That's one of the things that we want to be doing for our students, showing them all the things that they can be. But in order for us to be able to do that, we need to be ready. And I'm not going to say that we weren't ready, but we wanted to make it official, right? To be able to really be working with the situations that we have now in our schools so that we are ready to be those leaders. So we are working on learning about superintendent evaluation, superintendent search, policy, finance, and not just the broad strokes of what that is, but the day-to-day. Who's going to be signing for things? Who's going to be ready to be able to lead what we're going to do? Part of this, we wanted to be able to listen to our community, our families, our teachers, everybody in our community. And for that, we have our community advisory team, which there was an open call for everybody who wanted to be part of it. And I will say that I see some of the people who are part of the community advisory team here today. And I will say that that's only just yet another step in the right direction. And I have to give a shout out to Lauren Wu, to Jennifer Wu, and the commissioner, because they were the ones who really helped us every step of the way to put the plan together, so that now, any one of you who want to see it, it is up online, you can check it out. So that way you can see where we're going, and if you're excited enough, we will be meeting tonight at 5, and we will be talking about all the updates and the progress that we have made towards the plan, because we are ready to take back our school. Thank you.